Morning, everybody. How are you today? Man, excuse me. Better than I am, probably. Kind of fighting the head cold here. No, it's not COVID. It is not COVID. Just a head cold. So there you go. Let's see here. If anybody's gets on here, if you're watching this as a rerun, you can skip forward about 20 minutes. 25 minutes. Where is it here? All right. It says I'm live. Where am I? There it is. All right. Audio's coming through. Good enough here. Get rid of that. All righty. So, I'm going to have to deal with my head cold today on the YouTube side of things, just getting on a little bit early, making sure everybody else can get on and check it out here. I know it's quite early. We can sit and BS about all kinds of great stuff. There it is. Okay. I better email some things here. Oh, it's open already. New logs. Da-da, K-Fire, KCJB, spot blocks. Get that going here. This going here. Oh, man. Yeah. Hopefully it warms up a little bit better than it has been the last couple of weeks. Man, oh, man. It's been cold, cold, cold. There it is. Send that. All kinds of fun stuff here. The pre-game here before the radio show starts. Bam. Okay. There you have it. Coyote tournament's going all over the place right now. Holy moly. Jamie P. Olson. Dale Brisby. Thanks, Dale, for checking in with me. Appreciate you listening. Coyote tournament tonight. Let's see here. Jamie Olson. Let's see if he can give me some results. Oh, what else is going on here? How much? Next Saturday, Mr. Riley Schriefer is going to be down in studio. So there you go. Questions and comments for the man himself from Golden Valley. It's time to see that. What else is going on here? Weather forecast for us here this week. Warmer and windier. Good enough. Sweet. Night hunt gets done at 7:05 this morning on the Coyote Classic. There you go. What else is going on here today? Nice. 41 teams for both of them. Awesome. Sweet. Eight's leading it. Cool. He thinks. Oh, yeah. Well, let's see. What else do we talk about since we got 20 minutes mess up? Weather was amazing. I talked to a few guys throughout the night. Yeah. I agree. Really good night to hunt. All right. Check 1, 2, check 1, 2, check 1, 2. EHD talk today, by the way, folks. Is it going to be affecting mule deer? I think so. I think it already has. As bad as it was this year. Or 2021, rather, last year. So there. What else? Put my time card in, I guess. Clock in, clock out. Boom, boom, boom. Text it, please. I am verified. Boom. Today's technology. Having an argument with that. Discussing it with somebody about technology, good or bad. They'd rather go back. No technology. My question is, how far back do you have to go before you believe that there's no technology? Technology is everything that you go back before the internet, word processor was still technology. So there you go. Maybe they're just talking internet stuff. If you don't like it, stay off of it. All right. All right, let's see here. There we go. A lot of people don't realize the setup here. The reason I'm on here a little bit early this morning is just want to make sure all the radio stations could get on there. That's all. That's it. What else? Nobody's on here yet with me. Welcome back. Welcome back, Cotter. There's a couple people. Let me know. Audio coming through here loud and clear. Let me know. Time. Time cards. Yes, I still do time cards. Cha-ching. Good enough. Let's see. 21 Angus sale coming up Saturday, January 29th. Don't forget about that. There you go. Mark and Ann Wolf, take care of you. What else? What else? What else? What else? Got nothing. Emergency. Yeah. Took my ivermectin twice this week because I got a head cold. So the parasites are out of my body, I'll tell you that. Okay. I'm not sure. If guys send you emojis, I'm not sure about that. What's going on with that? Done with the cold weather for a while. Man, oh man. Getting tired of that stuff. 15 above feels like 1 below with the wind chill, which is like 42 degrees warmer than it was like Tuesday, Wednesday. Even yesterday was cold. Man, that wind was bitter. We're supposed to see a high today. We are at the high, 16. Okay. There you go. Cold tonight. Windy today. Shocker. A little tougher coyote calling here today. 20 to 30 from the northwest. Which is in this area, not necessarily everybody else's area. So there you go. Going to be a windy week this week. What else is going on here? All right. Got a few minutes here before I give Wayne Muth a call. Muth man. Muth master. Those listening here, let me know. Is my audio coming through all right? You guys got me or not here? Let me know. Type me a note. Watch picture in picture. No. Audio test 1, 2, 3, 4. Check 1, 2, 3, 4. Hopefully you guys hear me. Let's call the Muth Master here. Thank you, Karen. Morning, Waylon Turnus.
Good morning.
Morning, Wayne. How are you?
I'm good. I was hoping that we'd have a little warmer weather coming, but
are you kidding me? 15 above right now. This is like a heat wave for me.
Well, it's like that for us too. It was terrible last couple of days, but
yeah.
I'd seen earlier in the week that they said it was going to be like 30 degrees or something. So I thought, oh, that's nice. And looked at the forecast, and by noon it's supposed to be like 6 above. It's supposed to get colder as the day goes on.
Yeah. Yeah. What do you do?
Yeah.
It is what it is.
Yeah, we live here in North Dakota, and it is January.
Yeah.
So, yeah, can't do much about it, but take it all in and make the best of it.
Yep. Trying to find more feed. What's that?
Oh, do you? Have you been out coyote hunting at all?
Oh, a little bit here and there. I've been it's been a cold few weeks here. I mean, I didn't do much during the deer season and everything. So,
yeah. I ran out just for a morning. When was it? On Monday. And And yeah, it was okay. I mean, I got at the coyotes, but they just weren't responding. I had a whole bunch just howling back and forth for the longest time, and I tried to move in and just couldn't get them to come in at all. Another pair I watched move right into where a guy was feeding his cattle, where they were going to feed in the morning, and I couldn't find the landowner to get permission. I wasn't posted, but they were heading right toward his cattle, and I drove in and I talked to actually I did talk to the landowner, but they had leased it, and he said, she said, you got to check with the leasee. I don't want to give permission like that because they're cattle. And I had a perfect setup between the cattle and the coyotes coming in, and it was a great vantage point. And I just, until I got their permission, I wasn't going to shoot around their cattle.
Yep.
But even though it wasn't posted, I mean, I could have walked in there and just started pounding, but how that goes. It just doesn't feel right.
I don't know about that. I posted or not, I want permission.
Yeah.
I
agree. I agree.
I just, it doesn't, I don't know.
Yeah. That's a little different story for me. If I'm out in the middle of nowhere and there isn't a house within, 10 miles and, it's open for hunting, and you can't find out who the landowner is or can't get a hold of them. I mean, that's one thing, but, close to somebody's property, around cattle. I mean, it's just,
even my neighbors,
ethical, I guess.
I got a neighbor over here. A coyote was walking across his stubble field and like chip shot 50, 60 yards. I still, without getting permission from him, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I know he'd say yes, but until I talk to him, I mean, he also traps quite a bit, and he makes most of his living in the wintertime trapping. So
sure.
I'm not going to take away from him. So,
right. Those are assumptions that we think that we give permission, and most of the time we're right. But it's that one time that it's going to get you and create bad neighbors, and I don't want to do that. Yeah. See, have you heard recently? Utah has outlawed the use of trail cameras now with a couple other states.
Really?
At least during the, I think they outlawed it from July 31st till the end of the year. I think it's for hunting purposes.
What's the reasoning?
I would have to trying to think of what the article said, because it just happened on the 4th. Their legislators there, they passed a law that makes it illegal. I don't know. I can't call why they would have done that. If they think it's unethical, if they're getting pressure from outside sources, I don't know. But it's kind of interesting. You wonder if it's good or slippery slope or what you think about it.
I don't know, man. It seems like hunting industry is their own worst enemy.
Yeah.
Because,
it can be.
Is it outside interest groups that are probably doing it? Maybe. But maybe it's also people that consider themselves traditional hunters. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
right. And I don't know. To be honest, I think that there's a loss of a little bit of the hunting. What do you call it? The hunting ability or the outdoorsmanship, or I mean, how many people can how many people can look at a buck track or a track in the snow and track it? Yeah. And be able to tell, okay, is this a buck or a doe? I mean, is this thing walking on its heels or its toes, or can you tell the difference between a lion and a coyote track?
Yeah. Well. So I agree with that. The hunting side of things, I feel, not everybody, but it has become lazier.
Yeah.
Just witnessing people driving, and they don't even get out of their vehicles anymore. They just glass from their vehicles from the roads or wherever they want to be. Right. Yeah. Very, very little getting out and walking.
Well, the advent of the computer, the cell phone, everything is instant gratification.
Yeah.
So people want it now, and there's, I mean, if you get that, I mean, so be it. But it's interesting. Yeah. It's interesting. And there's some other issues out there, some other interesting topics that are out there. This corner crossing stuff with
Wayne, stand by for a second.
Okay.
I'm going to give a countdown here for the stations.
Okay,
I got
good.
7 o'clock, 7:00 on mark. Okay. Got 6 minutes before we start here, Wayne. But we're on YouTube, by the way, just so you know.
Okay. Sure.
Just got to give a countdown for the stations so they can kind of know the back time. There's a little delay through the YouTube feed.
Sure. So is this your first show of the year?
First show of the year.
Must be, yeah.
First show of the year.
Didn't have one last week. Yeah, last week was New Year's Day.
New Year's Day. Once every 7 years, I get Christmas Day and New Year's Day, and I take it off.
Good.
I do.
Yeah.
And it was nice.
Well, you could do like
It was nice.
you could do like some of these other shows and have a recorded program and put it on for yourself or something.
No. If I can go live, I'm going to stay live.
Okay.
You know, here's the thing. Live, whether it's live radio or live talk show host or whatever, you know, and I invested in the equipment so people can call in and join in if they would like. And it's live. I mean, I don't screen calls. There's no way. I'm my own producer. There's no time for me to do that. It's a level of excitement because you never know what that caller is going to say. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you have to be able to, you know, make it work. And
right. Yeah.
There's it's just like hunting, reading tracks. Being live is a talent to be able to talk back and forth with these callers and be able to have a conversation. No matter what they come at you with, right? And that's same thing as it's a lost talent. And if I can keep it going, I'm going to keep it going.
And that's good. I mean, and a person may, get pushed into a corner by some caller, and you got to be able to defend your position and do it respectfully. And
maybe get educated by them too. I mean, maybe I am wrong. Okay, well, they may have proven a point. Never thought about it.
And you want them to call back again. And because good discussion it brings about different interests and different takes on things. And even though we can't force everybody to be right for our opinions.
It is what it is. But I guess if I can stay live, I'm going to stay live. And it's not always easy because I mean, a live show makes you, like Saturday this morning, there's plenty of things I could be out doing for an hour and a half before, the sunrise here. And, same thing. If I can't really go into coyote tournaments because I'm that partner that needs Saturday morning to do the program. Miss out on the first sets, first couple sets of the mornings. And,
it would be nice. I did a podcast with Levi Nelson, and it was last summer, and we did a podcast. And I think those are kind of fun. I think it would be good to get somebody like you and John, and maybe myself, and a couple other guys, and you write down what you've learned in the hunting world, since you've been hunting. 50 things or whatever, and sit down and discuss it, and be candid about it, and doesn't have to be politically correct, and do a podcast on it and see what kind of conversations the guy would get into. That would be a lot of fun.
Non-politically correct show.
Right. Yeah. You may have to edit it a little bit. But, but it would be fun to try something like that.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on. Some of these people that are subscribing to my YouTube channel are from on the other side of the pond, as we can call it.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So they watch a little bit. They type in some stuff. I'm not quite sure what they're typing. I'm thinking it might be a scam thing, but who knows?
Oh, yeah.
You click on it, and all of a sudden you lose all your information, right? At least they're subscribing, though. What do you?
There you go. Yeah, getting that aspect of it, that positive piece. There's a lot of scammers. Seems like it recently. I've heard of. Yeah. Man, it's been really bad, and people just got to be aware of what they're doing and don't answer certain emails or.
They make it look good. Station 70430, 70430, minute and a half. Yeah.
So you want to just talk about the EHD stuff and whatever
wherever we go. That's why I don't like talking.
Perfect.
I don't like setting up talking points all the time because, let's take it wherever it feels like we want to go with it here.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Yeah. All right, stations, 60 seconds on mark. 60 seconds. Chuck Hansen, good morning out of Pierre, South Dakota. Good to have you along. KGFX. Christy Noam won't answer my emails.
She won't.
Nope.
Wouldn't it be good to get her on and just
love to have her
for an
on?
hour?
I'm not going to give up on it either. But sure, she's busy all week long, and then on Saturday mornings, the last thing she wants to do is come on a radio program. She wants to go pheasant hunting or something, It's it's last weekend of pheasant season, too. Stand by, 20 seconds. Yep. All right, make sure I got my stuff ready. 10-second stations, 10 seconds. Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Saturday edition of Dakota Prairie Outdoors. Happy New Year to you, by the way. First show of 2022 on a Saturday. Not necessarily first show. As a daily program, you can catch that on all these radio stations as well, each and every day. Different times, of course. If you miss it, you can always go to dakotaprairieoutdoors.com. Good to have you along here this morning. Also, all the viewers on YouTube, thank you for subscribing to my channel, Dakota Prairie Outdoors Radio on that. This morning's program brought to you by the 21 Angus Ranch, New England, North Dakota. They're having their 28th annual Top Cut Bull Sale. It's coming up on Saturday, January 29th, selling about 154 of their Top Cut bulls. Sires include the Sons of Sitz Logo, Coleman Bravo, and SAV Resource. It's going to be at the ranch, heated facility, a nice little place outside of New England here, just a little bit to the east side. And it's the 21 Angus Ranch. You can always find more information at www.21angus.com, 21angus.com. Wayne Muth, the professional Pope and Young scorer, is my guest here today. How you doing, Wayne?
I am doing fine. I'm doing fine. Thanks, Scott.
So when it comes to scoring, have we gotten a lot of have you scored some big stuff this year, or what's the scoop? Is this EHD kicked everybody's butts or what?
It has been a little slower. I do have some deer that are still coming back in, some big antelope.
Really good.
What else? Yeah, there's some elk. But, for the deer, it's been a little slower. I know that there's been some big ones shot. And, we talked about this early or later in August, and we weren't seeing really the big deer. And that kind of held true for most of the season. We went out, and my son had a tag in the Badlands, and we hunted pretty hard, and we saw a lot of deer and a lot of bucks, but boy, I tell you, they were just not to the quality we thought they would be. And I think the drought did have something to do with it. Mm-hmm. It held them back a little bit.
Yeah, it was tough this year. I really, really have to say, there's a lot of young mule deer bucks still around, and does, of course, are all over the place here. But I think that not only the drought, but I think the EHD spread a little bit from the whitetail to those mule deer. And we're doing some research this morning on EHD and mule deer, because they say a lot of people argue with me saying mule deer can't get it. And probably not at the extent of whitetail, but no matter where you go, and I know Colorado's done a lot of research. I've been reading a lot from Colorado for some reason, and they say, it does affect the mule deer just in a different way than whitetail deer. Our whitetail here, Wayne, I bet you it was over 200 dead whitetail that I found on the river.
Right.
So if they're drinking out of the same water, it's carried by a midge. There's a good chance that the mule deer probably were affected somehow on it.
Yeah, and they do, of course, get affected, and so do the antelope, and they're just not as likely to die. The whitetail are much more impacted by it, and the reason why I'm not sure. I haven't found anything that indicates why they would be, but the mule deer do get it, and we were seeing some oddball stuff. We're seeing velvet bucks in October and November. During gun season, we were seeing velvet bucks.
Yeah.
And we were seeing brittle antlers, and that is all some indications of that they've had a disease and they're recovering from it. So that's an interesting fact and something to watch going forward.
Well, I talking to Jake Wagner over in Baker, Montana, Hanging W Meats over there. Same thing. He closes down his shop and does no beef processing during hunting season. He just keeps it open for hunters. So if they have to bring something in, he can get it done immediately. It's kind of a neat thing that he does. And he said the same thing right away in the beginning of the Montana season, which opened up, I think, like a week or two before the Dakota territories. Brittle antlers. He says that there was nothing to the body size of these deer. And he says most of them were, what would you call it, sterile, or there was no sack to them, I guess you could say. I don't politically correct way to saying this, but they had the no berries there. And is this something? And that was in all the mule deer. And he said the same thing. The antlers were so brittle that people were trying to drag them and they would be breaking right off. So is this kind of, are we going to see more effects of this in the mule deer? We're going to see some oddities next year.
Well, according to a study that was done in Colorado in 2015 that I read, and it's a very lengthy study, they tested deer that had these rack formations late in the season, and they were finding that they had the indications that they had EHD, that antibody was there. So they had velvet late in the year. They actually would retain the antlers and not shed them. And then they would start growing these points around the bases, and you get this annual growth on existing velvet. Then it leads to that cactus buck appearance. So I think I would really ask hunters that are out there this coming year, look for these type of things. The velvet bucks, the cactus bucks coming up, the hooves are another piece that is really an indicator that they've survived it. Is they're chipping and they're shorter or they're cracked. You get the gaps in the hoof growth, because when they get the high fever, just like human beings, when we get a high fever, our nails will stop growing. You'll get kind of rings there or lines in them. So that happens with the deer. They all have these high fevers. The hooves will stop growing, and they get the chipped and the cracked hooves. And it's a very positive indicator that they've survived EHD. You see it a lot down south because they are more prevalent down there, but it's more of an ongoing annual thing down there. So their antibodies that they've passed on from deer to deer has survived, and it's they don't get the kill offs like we do.
Well, did you see the post by Jason Zins on his mule deer buck that he shot? Have you seen this?
I did not. Okay. No, I did not.
It's on the Bucks and Bulls if you go on Instagram and find that. And anyway,
okay.
One of the it's almost like a claw was turned back a little bit on one of the hooves. And he said that he talked to a biologist, and the biologist said it's an effect either A, from EHD, or being fed too much corn. Now,
oh, really?
As the cattle rancher in myself, if you do push too much, like distiller's grain, or I've had my neighbors, they said that in their feedlot, they pushed too much distiller's grain, and the feet did go bad on some of their calves. So I agree with that. However, I don't think mule deer would overindulge in corn as much as a whitetail per se. Yeah. I think it would be more of an EHD effect on this, on the hooves and everything. But yeah, you have to check that out. And we can get into this after the break too. How many deer we lost in EHD versus CWD? Why is everybody still focused on CWD when you lose a handful of deer a year? And, you take a year like this, or last year, I should say, 2021, and they, hundreds and hundreds of deer are lost. And it seems like that's no big deal.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that'll be a good topic, because I talked to a biologist out of Missouri and Alabama, and they've got some big advocates. They're big advocates for get away from, you don't want CWD, don't want CWD, and there's reasons for it. But when I look at it, like you said, if you have 100 deer die of CWD, they're dying of CWD, and of course that's permanent. I mean, when they catch it, they're going to die.
Yeah.
But it's in your herd, and it's constant in your herd. Your herd really doesn't recover from it. Where on the EHD side, they'll recover from it, and they'll regain those populations. But if you have the 100 on EHD and 100 on CWD, what difference does it make? I think they're still going to recover. I mean, we have deer moving in from the hills down to the river bottoms now. They're just going to, spread out, dissipate more. They're going to, have twins instead of singles.
Wayne, we're up against our first break. Keep that thought. We'll come back and continue talking EHD. If you want to chime in, you can text me 701-425-6651 or call in 888-9-DAKOTA. We'll be back after these messages. The 21 Angus Ranch 28th Annual Top Cut Bull Sale, Saturday, January 29th, New England, North Dakota. Selling sons of proven sires like Sitz Logo, Coleman Bravo, and SAV Resource. Free wintering and delivery up to 500 miles. No hoof trimming, no creep feed. These are stout northern raised bulls. You can bid online at DV Auction, and details can be found at 21angus.com. It's the 21 Angus Ranch 28th Annual Top Cut Bull Sale, Saturday, January 29th at the ranch in New England, North Dakota. Lunch at 11, sale time 1 p.m. Mountain Time.
You know you can shop at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame online at northdakotakowboy.com. Just click on shop. Find inductee playing cards, special edition pro rodeo cards, mugs, ornaments, and much more. Find out more information on our winter roundup in Arizona in January, as well as February's annual meeting in Valley City. The North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, very active on social media. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a great winter, and we look forward to seeing you in historic Medora this coming spring. Meanwhile, go to northdakotakowboy.com.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit dakotacommunitybank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Hi, this is Andy Murdoch with Piper's Auctioneers, your equipment auction team that gets results. There's never been a better time to turn iron into cash. Piper's equipment auction team is prepared to offer a free market analysis of your assets and provide uncomparable options for you, whether it's a private on-farm auction, a timed online-only auction, or consignment in any one of Piper's regional equipment auctions throughout North and South Dakota. Contact Piper's Auctioneers at 701-523-7366 to discuss your Piper's exclusive equipment auction for 2022, or log on to pipers.com for all upcoming auctions.
It's time for the Schriefer Red Angus Annual Production Sale, Saturday, January 29th, 2 p.m. Central Time at the ranch in Golden Valley, North Dakota. Selling this year, coming 2-year-old Red Angus bulls, bred-registered Red Angus heifers, top-notch replacement quality, commercial open yearling Red Angus heifers. Videos of each animal and information can be found at SchrieferRedAngus.com. Sale will be broadcast on DV Auction. The Schriefer Red Angus Production Sale, Saturday, January 29th, 2 p.m. Central at the ranch, Golden Valley, North Dakota.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy. MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition here for the new year, 2022. Wayne Muth is my guest here today. Wayne, you know Benny Paulson, don't you?
Yes, I do.
There's
I know
music.
Benny.
There's his music right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Haven't seen him in a while.
I haven't
Hope
either.
to catch up to him one of these days.
Yeah, I wonder where. So last weekend over the New Year's, I was in Nashville, Tennessee, and
fun.
I picked up this head cold down there because my wife's friend. It's kind of a big deal down there. Evidently, she's got these season tickets for the Tennessee Titans, and I'll tell you this: I am not a professional sports fan at all.
Mm-hmm.
But I went to the game. It's kind of fun. That was my first football game, I guess, professional football game I've ever been to. It's much different than watching it on TV. I'll tell you that right now. It seems a lot slower when you're at the stadium, I guess. But I picked up this head cold down there. But you want to talk about good music? Go to Nashville, Tennessee. No matter where you go, it seems like everybody's good.
Yeah,
good stuff down there. And I also was this close to hunting an armadillo. There was
bring one home with you.
Yeah, there was an issue. This lady had an issue with an armadillo tearing up underneath and rooting up underneath her deck of her house. And for the life of me, he wasn't there when I was there. I was trying to hunt him every single night. But I thought that would be a kind of a nice story to come home with an armadillo. But I don't think TSA would let me ship that in my carry-on.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah, they'd probably let me kick you off or something. Or they want the armadillo to wear a mask.
Yeah, I probably had to wear a mask. Text message comes in over the break. It says, with the bitter cold we've had and a lot of fawns, they've had a lot of fawns and yearlings move in with a few does, but not very many bucks and young ones at that. So I'm telling you, I think the deer population is a little bit scattered this year. I think how long is it going to take to build up? And there's certain areas across the Dakota Territory where EHD did not affect anything. And the whitetails are just fine. But in the affected areas, how long does it take to revamp? I mean, 200 dead whitetail on the Little Missouri River. How long is it going to take for that to recap here?
I would assume, and this is assumption, of course, I would assume it's going to take 2 to 3 years to get their populations built back up. But there's so many other factors. If you remember this last spring, last winter, let's go back that far, we had a really easy winter. So this spring, we saw so many does with twin fawns and triplets. So now you take into account that, they normally have twins, maybe one. Now let's say we double the amount of fawns that are on the landscape. And then EHD comes around and you're seeing all these dead deer. Well, if there's twice as many fawns that were born this spring because the fact is that it was such a good winter, those are the dead ones you're also seeing too. So, you're not maybe seeing as many coming back right now. Yeah. We went coyote hunting and I went bow hunting with my son Austin and I, and a friend of his. We went out right after Thanksgiving, and I saw more whitetail bucks out there than I did the whole season. I had a whitetail buck tag in the Badlands, and I saw more whitetail bucks and bigger whitetail bucks than I'd seen whole season that last weekend. So not all of them died. We're seeing deer moving in from the hills that maybe weren't impacted as much. They weren't by the water sources that produce the midges. So I think they're going to spread out. They're going to repopulate, and depends on the nutrition and the weather is how long it's going to take, really.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Do you think that the Game and Fish in either North or South Dakota is going to have an effect on the tag numbers? I mean, we don't know that until they do their flyovers and do their surveys, but what's your crystal ball look like right now? Do you think the tag number is going to be affected next year?
I think it's going to be pockets that they're going to have to.
Yeah.
I think there's just some areas that are hit really bad, and you're not seeing them come back, and you won't for a couple of years. But yeah, it's going to impact the numbers of tags out there. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you feel that somebody like archery tags where you and I live are basically what we call over the counter? Yep. And we also get, as landowners, we get gratis tags. And a lot of people, more than likely, if they're in the right unit, will get drawn for a rifle tag. Do you feel we're ever eventually going to see that become either one or the other? You either get the archery tag or you get your rifle tag instead of getting both. Do you think it's ever going to come to that point?
Well, there has been push for that in the past, and the archery clubs and the archers around the bow hunters have kind of fought that.
Yeah.
And I think it depends on how our game and fish department really manages our herds. If you start getting big drops in numbers of your herds where you can't sustain the numbers being taken every year from both, then maybe you're going to have to select either or. But I think as long as we have that game and fish department working on our side, trying to keep those deer on the landscape, I think we're going to have both. I think that they may have to cut back on some of the numbers of tags that they give to the Badlands archers. I think there's a lot getting to be way too much pressure in the West. Maybe have, okay.
Yes.
I'm sorry, but I mean, I'm just speaking truthfully, because when we go out there and we see vehicles parked every half mile along the roads, and there's hunters all over, and I don't know, I think there may be too much pressure out there. I mean, I don't know what the Game and Fish Department feels like it. I mean, that's just my personal take on it when it comes to that. But
pressure depends on who lives there. If you're living there, you probably see the pressure. If you don't live there, you probably, out of sight, out of mind, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. What would you rather have, archery tag or rifle tag?
I would rather have an archery tag and then leave the season long like it is, because I think you just learn so much more and you get to enjoy it more. Yeah. I would rather do that. Your success rate is a lot less. I mean, I didn't shoot a buck this year. I got on some pretty respectable bucks early on. My wife and I were out. We had an opportunity that whisked by me because the deer didn't give me a shot, and a couple others I couldn't get on, but didn't shoot one this year. I
either one of my tags were filled this year as well, mostly because everything looks sick this year. After I saw all those whitetail down on the river fixing fence, and I was like, holy moly. And then I really started looking at the mule deer. I just didn't feel like our mule deer looked healthy. So I don't know. Plus, I already butchered a cow this last spring. So text message comes in, says, I'm hoping we go to the $1 a year tag system. The least amount of bucks I have seen left over. So there you go. Yeah. So we got one person that's okay with going to just one tag a year.
And that would be fine. I think in certain units, maybe. I just think it depends on the units.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of bucks this year, and I was hunting down south here. I did hunt the reservation, hunted out west in various areas, north and south, and I saw a lot of bucks.
Yeah.
Now there weren't a lot of big ones, but of course, we get out there a lot, and we know where the deer are, and we have a good idea of where they're going to be at certain times of the year. So maybe that helps us find them, but they're there. But maybe we have to look at certain units and do that. I don't know.
I think so. Yeah. Like you said, it depends on the unit and the area that they're in, because some places didn't have EHD at all this year. And like I was talking to you on the phone here earlier this week, a buddy of mine down by Scranton area who had EHD pretty bad a few years back and lost a lot of really, really nice whitetail bucks, didn't have not a single problem this year. So is there a chance that there's a little bit of herd immunity to this stuff?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, definitely. That does happen. That's where they're, like in the southwest or southeast part of the United States, where they get it on a regular basis, they have that herd immunity, and they check, and they do have immunity, the survival of the offspring. And now I talked to one biologist, and he was thinking, it probably gives them a good immunity for 6 months and it tapers off. But another biologist said, it can, fall down through generations.
Yeah.
And wander off and taper off, I guess. But yeah, it's something that is there. And I think maybe we get some survival here with some deer. Maybe we won't be impacted as much in those areas that were hit as hard, last year.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It'll be interesting. Well, we're up against the half-hour break, and that means we get to give away a Let's Go Brandon t-shirt, courtesy of Ponderosa Screen Print in Rapid City, South Dakota. So I don't know how you want to do this, Wayne. Think of a question. When we come back, we'll have a question and people can text me the answer. So you can do that during the break here. We'll get that worked up here. So stay tuned for that. Plus, we got some text messages, some YouTube video messages here coming in about asking you some questions about these deer. We'll have that coming up your way as we continue Dakota Prairie Outdoors here. So we'll get ready. We'll give away a sweatshirt, and the guy in Valley City, your sweatshirt's coming. The 21 Angus Ranch 28th Annual Top Cut Bull Sale, Saturday, January 29th, New England, North Dakota. Selling sons of proven sires like Sitz Logo, Coleman Bravo, and SAV Resource. Free wintering and delivery up to 500 miles. No hoof trimming, no creep feed. These are stout northern raised bulls. You can bid online at DV Auction, and details can be found at 21angus.com. It's the 21 Angus Ranch 28th Annual Top Cut Bull Sale, Saturday, January 29th at the ranch in New England, North Dakota. Lunch at 11, sale time 1 p.m. Mountain Time.
You know you can shop at the North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame online at northdakotakowboy.com. Just click on shop. Find inductee playing cards, special edition pro rodeo cards, mugs, ornaments, and much more. Find out more information on our winter roundup in Arizona in January, as well as February's annual meeting in Valley City. The North Dakota Cowboy Hall of Fame, very active on social media. Find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Have a great winter, and we look forward to seeing you in historic Medora this coming spring. Meanwhile, go to northdakotakowboy.com.
As an independent insurance agency, Dakota Community Insurance partners with leading insurance companies to offer products that are designed around you and your farm insurance needs. As a leader in farm and ranch insurance, we can help you to minimize the risk to you and your operation, including farm equipment, livestock, farm buildings, and crops. Stop into your local branch to visit with our insurance agent or visit dakotacommunitybank.com. You can rely on us when nature strikes. Dakota Community Insurance.
At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Our outdoor heritage is important to North Dakotans, and the state's oil and natural gas industry is advancing the possibilities for conservation. The North Dakota Outdoor Heritage Fund receives up to $40 million per biennium from oil and natural gas taxes. The industry is reclaiming land for future generations, and it's developing our state's natural resources in harmony with our great outdoors and wildlife. North Dakota Oil and Natural Gas, advancing the possibilities. Brought to you by the North Dakota Petroleum Foundation.
Hi, this is Andy Murdoch with Piper's Auctioneers, your equipment auction team that gets results. There's never been a better time to turn iron into cash. Piper's equipment auction team is prepared to offer a free market analysis of your assets and provide uncomparable options for you, whether it's a private on-farm auction, a timed online-only auction, or consignment in any one of Piper's regional equipment auctions throughout North and South Dakota. Contact Piper's Auctioneers at 701-523-7366 to discuss your Piper's exclusive equipment auction for 2022, or log on to pipers.com for all upcoming auctions.
It's time for the Schriefer Red Angus Annual Production Sale, Saturday, January 29th, 2 p.m. Central Time at the ranch in Golden Valley, North Dakota. Selling this year, coming 2-year-old Red Angus bulls, bred-registered Red Angus heifers, top-notch replacement quality, commercial open yearling Red Angus heifers. Videos of each animal and information can be found at SchrieferRedAngus.com. Sale will be broadcast on DV Auction. The Schriefer Red Angus Production Sale, Saturday, January 29th, 2 p.m. Central at the ranch, Golden Valley, North Dakota.
It's every American's right to bear arms. At Mandan Sporting Goods, we're here to help you support your Second Amendment rights, which reads, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Whether you're looking for a pistol for personal defense or collector gun, we have the staff to help you. We also have the area's largest inventory of ammo and reloading supplies.
Mandan Sporting Goods, the area's local gun and ammo specialists.
Rockin' 7W has all the panels you need. Freestanding panels, windbreak panels, feeder panels, and the original protester panel. If you don't know what that is, it's a sort panel that makes sorting calves from a cow a breeze. You can do it in a fraction of time with just one person on foot or horseback. You can custom order sizes to fit your current operation, or you can start from scratch. Rockin' 7W also does trailer repair on any size trailers, mobile welding, and custom cattle hauling. Call Justin at Rockin' 7W at 701-206-1030. That's 701-206-1030. Rockin' 7W, the farmer and rancher's go-to guy.
MoPro Guide Service, the best on Lake Oahe. Brent and his staff will give you the most enjoyable fishing experience, always having the latest in electronics, gear, and the most comfortable Lund boat on the water. Fish with somebody who lives in Mobridge, South Dakota, the heart of Lake Oahe. If you need a place to stay, the Morest Motel has newly updated rooms with free internet, a family-owned and operated business. Go to OaheWalleyes.com. That's OAHE Walleyes.com for the best fishing experience Lake Oahe has to offer.
On that road, but don't you worry, one day I'll settle down. And when that time comes, I hope you're still around.
Welcome back, everybody. It is Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition as we continue here on the first show of 2022. Good to have you along here, and Wayne Muth is my guest. Wayne, guess what? I just realized something last year.
What's that?
Somebody asked me one time. They said, "Scott, how many shows did you, between your daily shows and your Saturday show, how many have you done since you started this?" And I hit over 5,000 shows last year.
5,000 shows.
Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
And it's kind of,
you are a busy man.
well, yeah. If you enjoy what you do, you never work a day in your life, right?
That's right.
What more than anything, I thank all the radio stations that have kept going with me. And some of my stuff is not politically correct, and I get that. Just like the Let's Go Brandon t-shirt we're going to be giving away. I'm sure there's people that don't appreciate that, but we have fun. And Ponderosa Screen Printing down in Rapid City, South Dakota, they wanted to make sure that they're not there today. You know why? Because the Bison are playing, and the guy that owns this t-shirt shop, the screen printing embroidery, probably one of the biggest Bison fans I've ever known in my entire life. But but anyway, we're going to give that away in a little bit. But a big thanks to all the radio stations and people that continue with me, and it's just nice to have that. So we'll get to a few of these, and I gave one of these away last year, and I haven't mailed it out yet. And if the guy's listening from Valley City, I'll get it to you. I'll get it. It's where I live. It takes a while for me to get to the post office once in a while, especially when the post office is open. Our post office is one of those that it's very select on their hours. It's not very user-friendly sometimes. But anyway,
they don't leave it open for you year-round? I mean,
well, if you want to go pick mail up, but if you want to mail something out, to go in and buy a envelope or something to put a T-shirt in, those hours, that's when I'm feeding cows. So it doesn't work out. But anyway, Let's Go Brandon t-shirt. If you're looking on YouTube right now, you can see this is a adult medium, I believe. So the trick about this is you text your answer. Wayne Muth has a question for you, and the answer needs to be texted. The first correct answer texted to my cell phone, 701-425-6651. That again is 701-425-6651. Will win a t-shirt. I'll mail it out to you. So do you have a question?
We'll throw something out there that should be pretty easy for people to find.
Well,
if you're talking about mule deer.
Well, hold on, Wayne. Okay. Before we go here, since I don't know the answer, you need to text it to me possibly. You need to text me the answer so I know who wins this thing.
Okay. Well, it's I'll ask it and then I'll text it to you here.
Okay.
So, we're talking about mule deer. We're talking about, oddball racks. So let's go. It's going to be really easy for guys.
Easy question.
This is with Pope and Young. If you shoot a Pope and Young non-typical buck, what's the minimum score it needs to get into the record books? Minimum score for a mule deer non-typical. Just send that number in and
text that number. What's the minimum score? Has to be, and holy cow, I got people already going after it here. Bam, 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 and they're all different answers so far. Oh, look at here. I'm waiting for I'm just waiting for your text here. Wayne is what I got. I'm waiting for that coming in. So there you go. And we have some answers coming in. We'll see what it is. Minimum score for Pope and Young when it comes to the actual scoring minimum for mule deer. I'm sure.
Okay.
I think I know this one, but now after everybody's been texting this stuff, now I kind of question myself. Quoting Wayne. Did
you get mine?
Well,
I sent it to the wrong one again.
I don't know. Oh well, this number does not look like your number. Do you have a different number you're sending it to me?
I have a 391-3061.
Yeah, that's not it. I've not gotten it yet, but that's okay. We'll get it to you. We'll see what it is here. We'll let people keep guessing here until we get some of these answers. First one comes in. He says off of YouTube, it says, Dad just doesn't like the pressure out west anymore because he has to walk in a lot further. We all know he's getting up there in age. So that has a lot to do with pressure, I guess, is the age of the hunter. Is the average age of some of these hunters getting up there a little bit too much?
So who sent that to you? One of my sons?
One of your sons? Possibly. It possibly is.
Yeah. Maybe it is. Maybe, well, there's a lot of younger guys that'll get out there and really do a lot of hiking in and really, get back into those areas. And I see them back in there. I'd rather have them not back in where I go, but I'm willing to share if they're nice, So, yeah, that's good.
Oh, look there. All right, we got the answer here, and we have a winner. So the answer is the minimum is 170 inches. And that's correct, right, Wayne? And the winner goes to my neighbor, John Polcheski. He had that right away. He texted that in here immediately. Everybody else was 180, 190, 150. I thought it was 150. But it's 170 inch is going to be the winner. So, John, JP, thanks for listening. You get yourself, and I'll see if I can find a bigger than a medium, unless you want the medium, but I'll get you a Brandon shirt for you. So I guarantee he's one of those. He'll wear it. He's okay with wearing these shirts.
And it's good that your contestants there, so you give them the right size.
Well, I could see him putting in a medium. That's easy enough there. What else? Oh, he said that you kind of answered his question, but a text before the break was in 2020, we were hit hard with EHD with 25 plus bucks found dead. A few in 2021. Do the survivors of the 2020 build up some antibodies to EHD? And we kind of discussed that. And he says, well, you just answered my question. But yeah, you do find a little bit of antibodies in there, don't you?
Yeah, they do. Like I said earlier, I talked to a biologist out of Missouri, and they see that. They have their game management down there a lot more tight than we do because it's on more private properties, or they have their game management systems that they set up. So they'll test these deer, and they do find that there's antibodies that are passed on down through the fawns, and it keeps them from getting that disease. And you have to remember that EHD cannot be spread from deer to deer, although it can't be spread, but you can, pass it down. Where CWD can be spread from deer to deer. That's why they don't like the baiting piece, and they, touching noses. To me, I guess baiting does not make any difference whether they're going to touch noses or not, because they're out there all the time sniffing, and they're touching noses and licking, and if you watch them there, they're doing it on a constant basis. So I'm not sure if that makes a big difference.
Yeah,
by not baiting. So.
The mayor of Mobridge says that it's all a cycle. There will be another time when there's more deer than ammo. Both are scarce right now. Give it some time, he says.
Right. Yeah. It gets in a cyclical piece. I mean, you get your herds built up, and then you have them hit with EHD. In Kansas, they had it in like 2009, and they had it in like 2012. And then like 4 years later, they had a big die off again. It's kind of spread out, but and it's a drought. I mean, drought really impacts it because the receding water lines. You have ponds that are being used by more deer because there's less other water available. So as deer are concentrated, you have the mud lines and the stale water, the stagnant water where these midges thrive. And then the salt content. Some of the researchers are finding that the salt content and the chemical content in these sloughs that are so warm, there's not a lot of predators to these midges that come around that will kill them. So there's a lot more of those midges available to bite the deer. And of course, fawns, their light body weights, maybe they're impacted more than some of the others. The bucks get impacted because of the velvet. There's a lot of velvet there that's very vascular. When these midges are biting, there's a lot of very easily accessible blood vessels there that's going to create this issue. So, yeah, it's a thing that we'd like to have a cure for it, but it's not out there.
What do you think that, you're looking at CWD on that side of things? If there is something a person could put out for deer to help with CWD, whether it be through mineral licks or something along that side, wouldn't it be useful to do that? Put it out in the bait stations. If they're coming there and people are worried about them coming into bait stations, why not come up with some type of a COVID vaccine for CWD that you can put in there?
Yeah, that would be that'd be a great idea. And it's amazing that somebody hasn't came up with something like that yet, or brought up that idea, or some chemist, developing some, immunity or antibody or something like that to help cure that. And because it's something with the central nervous system of the deer, where the brain deteriorates, and you get those protein prions that become deformed. I don't know if there's anything that can reverse that, or keep that from happening.
It is what it is, probably. Maybe that's just what we got to do.
Very
But
well,
so we might see some goofy looking racks next year because of the EHD, even in the mule deer. But you were talking about last year when I had you on, we were discussing abnormalities when it comes to different. I like goofy racks. I like that stuff.
Mhm.
If you're looking at it on YouTube, most of the stuff behind me has some type of deformity. I like that kind of thing. And that can happen from just injuries, like you said last time. If a whitetail gets their leg injured, it might affect their rack.
Right. Yeah, it's called contralateral asymmetry. So if they injure their rear leg, it's usually the opposite. That's the contralateral if it's on the rear leg. So if they injure their left rear leg, their right antler will probably be deformed or could be deformed. When you get to the front legs, they find it's mostly what they call ipsilateral, which is the same side. So if they injure their right front leg, it's usually their right antler that will be deformed or have some oddities to it. And it's a common known thing out there. So and you wonder if the hoof sloughing through the EHD will create more of this or not.
Right.
It'll be interesting if I encourage hunters to really look at their deer when they harvest them this year, or even when they're scouting. Look and see if they have these velvet bucks, if they're getting these cactus buck looks for the antlers. Are they seeing the hooves that are sloughed off or injured in the back? And does that hoof correlate to some contralateral antler formation that is different? I think that'd really be interesting to see what happens, especially in the mule deer herd, because I think the whitetails, seems like if sometimes they get it, they just die from it.
Yeah.
At least ours did, I think.
Yeah, it's interesting. I like that kind of stuff. So I hate to say it, but you see some of these bucks. Hopefully, they get injured a little bit, so they get some goofy looking stuff to me. I guess. But I got very quickly a text message. So last night it stopped at 7:05 this morning Mountain Time. Was the North Dakota Coyote Classic first time night hunt. And we're looking at like $10,000 in prize money here going on for this. And the results are in, and it looks like somebody turned in 8 coyotes from last night in Dickinson. So that is the winner. So there you go. Night hunting is more and more of a thing, Wayne. It's becoming more and more.
I think that's what my wife should get me for Christmas from last year yet, is a night scope.
Thermal scope, yeah.
Thermal scope, yeah. So if she gets it here in the next couple of weeks, maybe I can get one.
You know what? I think after Austin took that dig on you, being such an old guy, I think it's his. It's kind of his time.
There you go. He likes to get out and coyote hunt. Maybe he could get one and let me use it.
Yeah. There you go. Jesse, there's something that Jesse's throwing down, because he helped me haul hay yesterday, and I can't give you a T-shirt, Jesse, because I don't have T-shirts that big. But he said the same thing. He says, wonder if garlic keeps the midge off like it does flies for cattle sometimes.
Oh, there you go. You can go out there and wrap garlic around all the deer's necks.
There you go. Yeah. Well, if they're collaring them, we can see if it works.
Well, at the same time, I think you need to put masks on the deer, because didn't I hear recently, I saw an article that humans are spreading the COVID to deer.
Oh, good.
And I have no idea. I saw it was something that they had said that they do that. Well, maybe the deer have got to wear some masks. I don't know. It was really kind of silly, I thought. But
That is silly, but
So-
I wouldn't doubt somebody saying that. There's been people that are pretty freaked out about this, and especially when you go to bigger cities. And
Right.
I'm not a big fan of going to big cities, but it is nice every once in a while to go and see these people that they have different lives than we do. And nothing against it. It's just kind of fun to see that once in a while. Did you know this?
Sure.
I didn't realize this. Carhartt, clothing.
Yeah.
Evidently is like the in thing for like hipsters and young kids.
No kidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then I'm hip.
Yeah.
I've got some bibs and a jacket.
We've been hip forever. I mean, look at this. We've been doing this. It's like old to us, but evidently this Carhartt stuff is going over like crazy. One of the
Wow.
waiters that dressed pretty fancy, he had a Carhartt long sleeve shirt on. And it's like a huge thing in the big urban areas, evidently. So look at there.
It's becoming fashionable.
It's
That's good.
fashionable
There-
to look like you actually work for a living. Nice.
There you go. Yep. Hey, Scott, I did want to mention to all the listeners out there too, especially the ones in our local area. I hope you don't mind.
No,
The Mueller Foundation
absolutely.
banquet.
That's my next question.
Yeah. The Mueller Foundation in Mandan. It's our banquet. It's February 5th. It's at the Baymont. Inviting people to come and join us. And Scott is going to be there. He's going to be the MC and the auctioneer for us. And Jesse's going to join him and give him a hand. And great food, great fun, lots of prizes. Should be a good time. Yeah, encouraging people to get out and enjoy what you can in our area and help out the organization.
Absolutely. And it's a fun time, in Baymont over there. I've been there a few times. I was as a guest of the North Dakota Petroleum Council table. And I told you, we're going to rock it this year, man. I think people are excited to get back out and help different groups and events and open the pockets up a little bit. Hopefully we can make a difference for you. And how many guns are we going to be giving away here? I mean, can you
we
find
haven't
guns?
determined all of it yet. Yeah, we're able to get them. And, Runnings is helping us this year. Kevin Lockhart over there, he's been doing awesome. He just does a great job with us. He's going to be helping with the firearms registration as well that night. And it's going to be fun. He's done a great job. And we're getting, we have our sources through the Mueller Foundation that we can get our guns, and we're getting some from Kevin as well. And I think Shield is doing well with us as well. So it's going to be good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time. And that, again, it starts what time? And give us the lowdown one more time.
The 5:00, the doors open. There's a no-host social. The raffles and silent auction are afterwards. Dinner's at 6:30. They'll be followed by a live auction then. If you want to get banquet tickets, you can email. You can email Jason at Jason, JASONSTEF, Jason Steff at MSN.com. Or call me and I can direct you to get tickets. My number is 701-391-3061. Or if you have questions about anything else, and we'll keep going from there.
Yeah, it'll be a good time. That'll be fun, and not only that, but you get to see a lot of different people there too. And talk stories and talk like we're talking right now. Maybe discuss a little bit of this EHD type stuff. I know there's Pat Lossbike will be there as usual from the Game and Fish. So I mean, you can bend his ear on a lot of this stuff too.
Sure. Yeah. So going forward, I mean, when we look at may have low populations of whitetails out there. What do we use as a management tool now if we're going to have deer permits, whitetail deer permits? One of the pieces that I have found was an article that was written in the Bugle magazine many years ago.
Okay, about 45 seconds, Wayne. 45 seconds. So,
all right. Here's some food for thought. Do we harvest fawns as a management tool? Because most fawns die before their first full year. So if we harvest fawns instead of does, leave the adult does, that means that there's a greater survival due to experience with those does. They know where to find food and shelter. They produce more fawns the older they get. They're larger, they're healthier. More male fawns are born from older does. Greater milk production, better milk quality. Same thing that ranching does. I mean, they sell the calves every year and they keep the high producing cows. Is that something that we target in our outdoor hunting?
Interesting. It's a great way of looking at that. If we can get people on the same page as they don't have to take a big buck and don't have to worry about the antlers every single time. I think that would work nicely, wouldn't it?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
You leave those does that know where to get the protection and how to survive and find water and food. And yeah.
All right. Well, Wayne,
They
thank you for
experience
coming on the
those.
program
Yeah.
today. I appreciate it so much here. And we're going to continue on the
You
YouTube
bet.
side of things here just for a little bit after we get done. But don't forget about mentioning the beer at the Mule Deer Banquet. Austin wants to make sure you mentioned beer. So
Yes.
there
I
will
mentioned the beer.
be beer there.
Hey,
Thanks for tuning in
There
today.
will. Yeah.
Eat some meat, drink some milk, have yourself a great weekend. Thanks for tuning in to Dakota Prairie Outdoors Saturday edition. All right, radio stations, thank you so much. YouTube will continue on here a little bit if Wayne wants to. I don't know if you want to continue on.
Sure.
Talk about
We will.
Jesse calls. Jesse, you gotta call the regular number. Goddamn guy.
I get confused with your numbers. I have two of them in there, and it's like I always call them.
I only have
check
one.
them.
Well, I don't even answer my home. Do you answer your landline still?
We got rid of our landline.
You did get rid of it. See,
Yeah.
I still
we
have
did.
it, but I don't know why I have it. But my message is call my cell phone.
Yeah. So your cell phone. What's last four digits of your cell phone?
6651.
6651.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to look at those when I get off the
Yeah.
phone here and see exactly which number I'm always calling.
Yeah. I got a text message from Riley. This is a good one about Carhartt. It says girls be wearing Carhartt like they're blue collar. Taking pipe and laying pipe are two different things.
Yeah. Oh, good one. I tell you what, Carhartt, that canvas, that stuff is so nice, and you wear it, and you can wear it out in the wind, and it keeps you warm. It's a little heavy,
Yeah.
compared to what we're used to with some of our hunting stuff, but I
And
wear it all the time.
And the jackets, the zippers need to be a little bit better. It's my zipper. I've never had a Carhartt jacket that the zipper was awesome on. So, but
Yeah,
hey,
they wear out. Yeah.
I better head on. I got to unload some feed and then take my trailer off so I can go feed cows here this morning and everything. But
Okay.
we'll
All right,
appreciate
sounds
it, man.
good.
Thanks for everything. We'll catch
Yeah,
up with you later
yeah.
on. And
You bet. Good way to start the year, and
Yeah.
let's do